Hey, glad you're back tuning into the No Comfort Zone podcast. Still wanted to do another shout out. FeedSpot, thank you so much for the acknowledgement. Top 100 motivational podcast for men. We are ranking number 5. It's March 2025. Go check it out. I'll put a link in the bottom. Thank you, FeedSpot. Greatly appreciate the acknowledgement, and still just can't believe it. So listen, if you're catching this podcast for the first time, my name's Dan. I created the No Comfort Zone podcast simply for this. Stories of adversity to success. You have adversity that happens in your life. I believe that everybody is going through some form of adversity. You either are going through it right now, you've either been through it, or you're getting ready to head into it. And I believe there's lessons or clues that are in there that you can learn from. And those lessons are there to help you to become a better version of yourself. And if that happened to you, or it's happening right now, or you just got out of it, I believe that there's a story there. I believe there's an opportunity for you to help other people. And if you'd like an opportunity to either get on this show or talk about your story, please hit me up, dan@thenocomfortzone.com, or DM me. I help people tell their story. If you've got a story that you want to be told, I can create a very small book for you, and I can get your story out there, and you can use that story to impact people and get that story out in front of people to help send your message out to other people. And it's proven to be a very good way to help a lot of people. So if you're interested in that, hit me up. And also today's episode, what we're going to be talking about, we're going to circle back on something because a lot of people have reached out to me, and this is kind of surprised actually, because it seems common to me, but it's maybe not as common to other people. Today's episode is high value relationships. Surround yourself with the right people. I've done 2 episodes on this in the last week. So we're going to do another episode about this. And this is going to be who you spend your time with determines your future. That's a no-brainer. We're going to dive deep into how to build relationships, and high value individuals. They cut ties with toxic people, and they create strong networks with people that lift them up. Whether you're in business or your professional life, the people around you will either push you forward or hold you back. This ties directly into, I think, the 4th category in the success failure cycle in the No Comfort Zone Blueprint, which is available to you. I can send that to you. It is free of charge. Just let me know if you want it. I can email it to you along with a quick video on how I can help you go from failure to success, or get you out of adversity and put you on the path to success. So without any further ado, let's get into today's podcast. Easy for me to say, I will see you on the inside. No editing necessary. I'll see you on the inside.
Welcome.
Attention, please.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome to the No Comfort Zone podcast. It's time to get out of your comfort zone and live on purpose. Broadcasting to the world from Rockford, Illinois. This is your wake-up call.
Warning.
You are the solutions to all your problems. Stop thinking average. Become the hero version of yourself. Every day, every time, without fail, no exceptions. It all matters. You've entered the No Comfort Zone. It's time for a reality check.
It is absolutely beautiful outside right now. It is March in the Midwest, and things are starting to come together. So would you believe it that this is actually the time of year where I've got if you listen to this podcast, and if you're listening, hit me up and say, Dan, I've been listening, or hit me up on social and let me know. Remember I had mentioned 6 books by Q1? Well, guess what? I got about, I think, 25 days. So 40-minute car deal, move more inventory, ASAP, the No Comfort Zone, Book of Affirmations are going to be available on March 30th. Can you believe it? Humming and Bumble is going to have all these books published by then. You'll be able to find them out on KDP, on Amazon. They will be available, and I'm pretty excited to have that. Listen, the No Comfort Zone guy, instead of just doing one book, I'm going to do a whole bunch. Everybody in the book space is like, dude, you do one book launch, you do it the right way. I'm an idiot for doing it this way, but these are passion projects. I've been working on these for like 15 years. And why am I doing it? It's because it's something that I've wanted to do all this time. And I'm excited to get these out there. So yeah, 40-minute car deal, move more inventory in my ASAP book. That's all going to be coming out, and those can be bundled together. And then the No Comfort Zone also, that's the story of the blueprint that's going to be coming out. That ties directly into this podcast. So, but today we're going to circle back. We're going to be talking again about high value relationships. And it's crazy that I got hit up again about this whole relationships things. And I'm going to go off on a tangent as I normally do, and about addiction. Okay. So I'm an expert on addiction. I don't, they say don't publish books about psychotropic drugs or medications and stuff because Amazon doesn't like that. So I'm not going to do that, although I want to. One of these days, I'll just do it just to say, a big finger to the industry, because I don't believe in psychotropic drugs. I don't believe in antidepressants. I don't believe in benzodiazepines. I was on 14 different medications when I was going through a depressed state in my life, and I just don't believe in it because I went in with a label, and that label further isolated me from my spouse, who I was having troubles with, self-inflicted stuff. There was a lot of problems that were going on, but having the label, then the medication, and the side effects from that, without addressing the real issues, without watching the real behavior, and being an addict was hiding the other behavior, it just compounded the problem and damn near killed me. So the crazy, weird part about this, it wasn't until after getting involved heavily into sobriety and living a happy, joyous, and free lifestyle through rehab, through AA, through my own spiritual connection, through my relationship with God, through all of these things, and now just being happy that I'm sober. Like I have zero desire to drink, zero desire to do drugs. It's not a part of me anymore. I don't know how I ever did it before. I don't ever want to go back to it, and life's pretty amazing without it. And I don't even recognize that version of myself. So I think I'm good to go, but I always know it's in the back of my mind, and I just have no desire. It's like playing with fire. I never would want to do it. And why I'm bringing this up now is because I realized something after the fact, which makes sense to me. There was a study. I don't have access to the study. I overheard it, but this makes sense to me. And if you find the information, good for you. They put scientific rodents, rats, in this cage, and the rat had access to water or cocaine with water, and what happened is the rat ended up choosing the cocaine with water over food and ended up basically starving itself to death, and always chose the cocaine part over the food. And I always believed that. That was always something that was there a long time. And I always thought to myself, wow, that's how bad drugs are. You'll choose the drugs over surviving. And that's how my life was. I chose the drugs over anything else in isolation. This is about relationships, by the way, okay? But what was interesting, what I learned was, I'm sitting in my car and I caught a radio program, and it was talking about how the study was done when there was a bunch of rats, social animals, and they had a choice between the cocaine or food, and there was other rats in there. They never chose the cocaine because there was other rats there. They're social. I found that very interesting, amazingly interesting. Because as a society, we're social beings. I mentioned a few podcasts ago that we have to, break away, that we have to isolate for a while, temporarily. I've mentioned on this podcast many times that you have to disconnect and disappear for a while and go to a place in the no comfort zone for like 30 days and go to a place and reinvent yourself to become out of it and become unrecognizable. What I mean was, and what I'm intention, my blueprint is, again, become aware of who you are. And if you don't know, if this is your first time listening to this podcast, I had to become aware that I was becoming average, being on the top of the mountain, being a very highly paid public speaker, being, I would say, pretty good at sales, not great, but pretty good. But I think I was a better sales trainer. I think I was a great sales trainer. I was in that space. And then now getting to a point where now my whole identity was taken upside down. Now I'm an alcoholic. Now I'm considered, bipolar, all these bad things, all these really bad labels. Now I'm looking at myself going, okay, I don't even know who I am anymore. I don't know what direction my life is going. And I have to basically reinvent myself. And I'm in a really bad place in my life. So I'm going to have to figure this out pretty quick. I have to figure out where it is that I want to go. And first, I'm going to have to reach deep. I'm going to have to go to some dark places. And I want to share with you that I had to go to some deep places within me, and I had to do it alone. I couldn't go to the comfort of my wonderful, beautiful spouse. I couldn't go to the comfort of my family because these are challenges that I think men need to face. You ultimately have to decide, you have to look in the mirror. Who are you really? You have to write those things down. Emotionally, you have to decide, why do I make these decisions that I make without any influence from anybody else? You have to get to a point where the version of yourself that's in the mirror and the one that's in your heart versus what everyone sees, because that's a facade. You have to come to terms with who that person is. And when the truth shows up, well, then you could really deal with it. And you can make changes. You can identify the intention, where you want to go, who you want to change. Whether, again, let's say whether you're the president of that company, whether you're the head of a huge organization, the head of your household, you can decide where it is that you want to go with that information. And deciding where to go with that information is as simple as this. And I hope I don't lose you on this. How do you address the snooze bar on your alarm clock? How do you address when you go to bed at night, those 15 minutes? Do you turn off your phone? Do you have that conversation with your spouse? Do you write, let's say you're not with a spouse, do you write down your intentions on what you want your future spouse to be like? Do you do the right things that you know are wholesome and good? Do you choose right when nobody's looking? Do you get up early? Do you pray? Do you meditate? Do you take care of yourself? Do you show up early for yourself? Do you invest in personal growth and personal development? Do you write out what a winning formula day would look like? Do you have a concept or an idea of what the ideal version of yourself would look like? And are you working towards that? See, when you have that ideal and when you know after you've gone and reached deep in what you need to correct about yourself, and you know with certainty on who it is that you are and who it is that you want to be, then you make the decision on who you're going to spend your time with. Because you're just not going to give your time away to anybody, because you've taken that fortitude, you've taken that due diligence, and you've now really spent the time by yourself to understand who you are and what you need to be successful. And it's so important, because if there's anybody's values that aren't in alignment with yours and who you are, it's very important to eradicate them and get them out of your life. Now, if somebody comes to you and they need help, I created the blueprint to protect me for them. If you need help, I've got the blueprint. Here's the blueprint. I'll help you. There it is. If you choose not to do the information in that blueprint, you're on your own. There's the direction. There it is. And I'll tell you this. I'm going to be at risk. I might lose a lot of listeners by saying this, but all of the stuff that is in my blueprint, all of it, every bit of the blueprint, the best personal growth, personal development book ever, as I learn more and more about it, all comes from the Bible. I might lose you right there. If you listen to this and you might say, oh, I can't listen to you anymore. That's okay. Everything that I'm learning more and more about the blueprint that I thought I created through my pain, I'm learning comes somehow, some way from the Bible. And that's okay. That's okay. It's astonishing to me, some personal growth and personal development, all that pain and suffering is designed for a reason. We're supposed to help each other on this planet. We're supposed to be here for each other. What is helping me through my realization of suffering and pain that I went through the labels, through the medication, through the isolation, through the intentional isolation, meaning to get better, then aligning myself with the right people through high value relationships, because some of the relationships that I have, they're not easy. They don't tell me what I want to hear. They don't blow sunshine up my ass and tell me how everything's sunshine and rainbows 24/7. Case in point, my wife. She is not the easy person to hear stuff from all the time, but she tells me like it is, and I need that. I do need that. She's also the person who will tooth and nail bite through a tree for me and then some to defend me and defend our family. And if you know her, if you met her, you know exactly what I'm talking about. She's a pistol. And this is one of those deep dives that we're talking about in building a relationship, because you have to know who you are. You really have to take that time. Go on a retreat. Take time to self-reflect. Take time to invest in a seminar. And I would love to do this, do a no comfort zone retreat. Husband and wife, come to a retreat. Have it where we can reflect on who you are as a couple. I would love for this in my work organization to do this, where there's an opportunity for people to get together to define how important the family unit is for business, because it is crucial to have everybody on the same page. Our family is invested in my day-to-day job. They know how important it is to me for the livelihood of everybody that works within my organization. I want to be a better person personally, and why I do this podcast is so I can be a better person for that organization. So that organization helps me to be a better family person. It's all connected in somehow. And there's relationships there that are very valuable to me that help me be a better dad, that help me be a better husband. And anything that's toxic, I have my blueprint that helps me to avoid those toxic relationships, or take those toxic relationships and let them know that, hey, there's boundaries in place. And I do have a network of people that are highly ambitious, highly ethical, seeking personal growth, personal development, high net worth, that aren't obnoxious about it, that are actually trying to achieve their goals personally and professionally. And if you want to be a part of that, that is the No Comfort Zone tribe. This is what we are. This is what we do. Most of the people that are in this space now, it seems to be getting a little bit younger, but it's like 19-year-olds. I never thought that would be the case, but it's like 19-year-olds now, going up to about 45-year-olds. But the bulk of them are like, I would say 25 to 35 male. And these are guys that are looking to get into serious family relationships, that are spiritual, that they're ambitious, that they're looking for opportunities to become successful and pursue life at the highest level in every category. Because there are rewards in prosperity. There are rewards in winning. There are rewards at living your best life, in being happy, in being joyous, in being free. And it really comes down to doing the right thing at the right time so you can do what you want to do when you want to do it with the right people. And if you have people that are actually holding you back or bringing you down, you're not going to be able to live your life at the highest level, and you're not going to be able to impact the greater good or the most amount of people. The success and failure cycle that's within the blueprint, you have to have a goal. You have to have an ideal. And when you have that ideal and you know what it is, there's certain categories, like getting up on time and getting up the right way. There are certain things about managing your time. There are certain things about how to communicate with other people. And when you do these things and you hit these triggers, you're going the right direction. Life is happening the right way. You are winning. The results will come as long as you do the activities. But what happens for people, they get distracted because somebody sucks their time. Somebody's willing to say, listen, let me complain about this and let me live in the problem, not the solution. And what ends up happening to that person is they want to help, but that person's not willing to work. So they give them their time, they give them their energy, they give them their resources. And I know because I've been there, because I wanted to fix everyone, but I wasn't fixed myself. So I got to put a boundary up and say, listen, man, here's the deal. You got to focus 90% of your energy or 95% of your energy on the solution. You got to roll up your sleeves and put the work in. It's a mental game with a lot of execution. And if you can do that, we're good to go. But if not, you're on your own. You got to go figure it out. You need some more adversity in your life. And when you're done, come back and get me. And not everyone will make it. And that is a very hard reality. At the beginning of my podcast, I say, it's time for a reality check. And there's a reason for that. I could say I probably had 20 major reality checks in my life, and about 10 of them have almost killed me. That's a fact. No bullshit, nothing other than that. And those were gifts that were given to me. And because I survived the reality checks, I have the gift that I learned from. And unfortunately, it takes me a long time to learn things. Because of the adversity, because of coming to terms that I could be average the rest of my life, I came to the point where people that are around me, I do not want them to be average. I'm going to create this blueprint for me to avoid being average. I'm going to calculate risk. I'm going to push myself out there. I'm going to do the best I possibly can to become the best version of myself. And in the end, I'm going to bring some people with me. So help me God. That's where the no comfort zone comes from. And I really do believe this. I believe wholeheartedly that if you have high value relationships because you know who you are and you do surround yourself with the right people, I do believe that you're going to draw more opportunities in. I do believe that the consequences are going to be greater for you. I believe that life is going to be more fulfilling. I believe it's going to be magical. I believe that you're going to have greater resources to help you handle bigger problems. Because as T. Harv Eckert said in his book, The Millionaire Mind, it's not the size of your problem, it's the size of you. Be bigger than your problem so you can solve it. Life is going to come with a lot of problems your way. It's the people that you're in alignment with, and your ability to have resources is going to be your ability to achieve that success. And ladies and gentlemen that are listening to this podcast, that's what it means to get out of your comfort zone. And I'm telling you, and I've said it every single podcast, 546, 47 episodes. Today's the day for you to get out of your comfort zone and live on purpose.
Say goodbye.
Want more of the No Comfort Zone? You can follow Dan on Instagram and Twitter at NoComfortZone1.
Bye.
Or on the web at thenocomfortzone.com.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the No Comfort Zone podcast.
Bye-bye.